We're here today at a local farm where we're going to show you another fencing quick fix. This is a culvert crossing where they use this culvert to cross from one pasture system to the next, avoiding the hassle of crossing the road. So as cattle come up through the culvert passing to the new pasture, this is a high traffic zone, a lot of volume, a lot of pressure right here. You can see that our bottom two strands are sprung. They popped off the post, whether an animal went through here or just from rubbing. We have all this cow hair left on the wires. So we're going to show you in this video how to fix this, how to improve upon the stapling method, and get this fence back into working order. So our first step is to turn off the electric on the fence. This is not a remote controlled energizer, it's a plug-in. We did unplug the energizer on our way to the site just so that everything's ready to roll once we got here. All right, next we're gonna remove this cow hair, just clean up the fence. You can do this whatever works for you. I'm gonna use my utility knife to kind of cut through the hair as I'm applying pressure, and we'll get this strand cleaned up. Our next step is loosening these strainers so that we have some slack to work with when we go down to restaple and reattach each wire. It's best to use your strainer handle and a screwdriver or something similar to protect your fingers as you hold the flap out of the way. You'll want to start towards the front of the cog to release the initial tension. Use your screwdriver to pull the flap back, protecting your fingers. Just like that. Get another bite. Once the initial tension's off of it, you can pretty much do it by hand. That'll be enough slack for us to work with. We'll just put a little bit of slack in each line so that we can adjust the staples at the bottom. Now that we have a little bit of slack in each of our strands, we can come back down here to our post and reattach these wires. One strand was electrified with an insulator. When this wire popped, we lost that insulator, so we're gonna use a spiralator 4-inch. We'll show you how to attach that and restaple it. And we also had a bare non-electric strand at the bottom. We'll be using 2-inch staples to get a really good grip on this post. We're down in a dip, so we're gonna use a special method of stapling to make sure that these staples hold. So for our electrified strand, we'll be using a 4-inch spiralator to match our other 4-inch insulators. It's called the spiralator because of this spiral design. So all we have to do is roll it up over the wire until it snaps in place. We want to make sure we finish with this flap facing down like a roof to shed the water and not facing up like a gutter, allowing moisture to collect. The spiralator is the perfect solution for any insulator that you need to install on an already tensioned or already assembled fence line, because you can snap it on place. You're not required to feed it on from the end of a run, just like that. And then we can reattach. To reattach these wires, we're going to do the bottom wire first so that we're not crossing paths doing the top one. For this post, because it's down in a dip, we're going to use a special method of stapling to reinforce and make sure that these wires hold. We're going to come down below our previous set of holes. This is a right cut staple, so we're going to give it a little bit of a 45 here on this bare wire. We want to get both barbs inside the wood. And then our next staple is going to come from the bottom of the existing staple over top of the wire. That way the tension on this dip is pushing up into the legs of this second staple. So it's contained within the first staple, but then it has the support of the second staple helping as tension is pulling on the dip. You can do the same method with an insulator. It's going to look the same, just that the insulator is in place first. You might not be able to go quite as deep just because the insulator is taking up a little bit of that room. You may want to use a longer staple to make sure you get a good bite. The Strain Right staple puller is a great tool for this, just to get a little bit of our staple out so we can sneak our second staple up from the bottom. With each strand of wire restapled, now we can reapply tension to our strainers. With everything stapled, tension, and insulators in place, we can now plug the Energizer back in and get this fence back up on its feet. Oftentimes, fence issues like these can be a quick fix when you have the right materials and the right tools. You can find everything we used here today at kencove.com, and be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more fencing tips and expert advice.